very nice day out.
Why did you say it?
I don't know. Anyways, how about you welcome them? I've been doing that the past like 5 times. Say it. Welcome.
What?
Welcome it in.
Welcome it in.
That's right.
Welcome it in
Mm-hmm.
to the third dimension.
That's right.
I'm Max.
And I'm Cruz.
And today, we're
It's-
backlit.
And it's nice outside.
Yeah, we're backlit.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's not all right.
It's
we
fine.
We look like shadow people now.
Do you think the people watching are gonna be like, oh, I know what lighting is supposed to be?
If you're backlit, that's very apparent. You just look weird.
Yeah, we already looked weird,
myself.
so you know what I mean?
I'm going to shift myself to the right.
I'm gonna shift for myself for the right. Anyways, it's a beautiful day outside. Figured we try to.
It's a lot nicer looking that way.
I disagree.
It's not as nice
I
that way.
disagree.
This
actually,
is nice. There's like leaves falling. You guys
there's
can't see this,
leaves falling like behind us too.
but I don't think so.
All right. Well, Max is in denial.
I'm not.
Yep. Anyways, so yeah, no, it's a really pretty day out. It's starting to get real fallish. It's October 29th, and we want to get this cool little fall yellow and orange oak tree behind us. So yeah. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you, starting off today's episode. So we were just talking about before we started filming, like different ways that we can make money to get where we want to go. So what are some ways that you think would be constructive to doing that?
I don't know. You know what I have been thinking about? I've been thinking about why do people choose the jobs that they do?
Well, yeah, that's kind of like intertwined in the question.
Why do people settle? Why do they give up?
It's a good question. I think
You think
because
it's just too hard?
No. Well, yes.
I think it's
I
hopeless?
think people would rather be comfortable than be uncomfortable for a longer amount of time.
But they're not comfortable, not really.
Yeah, they think that they're comfortable. That's the lie
They're
they're telling
disappointed.
themselves. Yeah. So again, it's pretty much based not in reality.
Well,
Like-
but the other thing is, like, you watch movies
Mhm.
and shows that a lot of times are talking about, fighting for what you dream about and
Mhm.
going on this adventure, or, there's this grand journey that someone goes on.
Journey.
In, getting to where they want to go. They get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
But people watch that, and then in their own lives, they just sort of settle into some job that's just like, they hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they actually do. They're like, I don't really get fulfillment out of this. I don't really like.
Yeah.
What are you adding to the human species by doing that?
I think that people, especially now more than ever, have kind of lost the why in why they do things. And like you said, like people watch like shows and kind of disassociate from their own life, probably to get fulfillment from, again, these other outside sources. And that sounds like really harsh and kind of depressing, because it is. But yeah, no, I think that people are kind of weak when it comes to that stuff, and they don't want to sacrifice being uncomfortable to a greater extent than kind of settling for less and quote unquote being comfortable.
Well,
So like the picture I'm trying to paint is like a comfortable life for the majority of people is like getting an office job. It's
not
relatively
only
safe.
that, but like growing up,
Mm-hmm.
my dad did stuff with like technology,
Yeah,
computers.
Yeah.
And he was always behind a computer,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's at home or he would go out to, work somewhere, having little work meetings. He was always
Yeah.
behind a computer for work.
Mm-hmm.
And he would have conference calls with people, and they would talk about stuff, and but for me it was like, I don't understand. What does that add to anything?
Yeah.
They're like, are you actually, is that really what you
honestly, I don't think many people, and I'd venture to say most people, don't ask themselves that question. And when they do, they sweep it under the rug and they're like, well, I think I'm doing enough for myself and my family, and that's that.
Well, the other part
There's
of
no
it
like,
is that
I think that people think of like a more grandiose thing, like what am I doing in the grand scheme of things? Like what am I doing for this existence? And if I do believe in a God, what am I doing to fulfill the things that God has bestowed me to do? So like do things in my God's name. And I don't think many people ask that question because, quite frankly, I think that that's a very weighing question. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like people would, again, rather be more comfortable than being uncomfortable for the amount of time they could compromise for having a quiet, simple, safe life.
Well, for me,
And I have no problem with that at all.
I remember talking to a lot of people that had quit jobs that I've been a part of that I also had stopped working. I said, so why? And their answers were always the same.
Like about jobs that they didn't like.
It was like these simple jobs that were just repetitive because a lot of jobs are. It's just you do the same thing.
Yep.
Talk to the same people. You do the same thing. Whatever. It was like I just did this. I put this in a bag. I did this. I just talked to these people. That was it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you just do the same thing over and over and over and over again, like some sort of robot. There's nothing new. You just same thing.
Well, I've thought about that too, and paradoxically speaking, that same mentality, again, discipline and consistency, can breed success.
But that's not even discipline. That you're numb. You're just
no. I'm saying paradoxically
motions.
on the other side of not being disciplined, but having consistency in things that you don't want to do. Imagine having consistency in the things that you actually believe in, and being disciplined enough to not fall out of consistency to get where you want to go. But
it's not that they just don't want to do it. They just do it because they feel like that's all there is.
No. That's what I'm saying. On the other, so again, like you were explaining earlier, if you think of a line, on one side of that is what you're explaining. So like a bagger at Walmart. I'm not saying I think they're just as valuable as anybody else on this planet. They either enjoy that job. I don't know why they would, but there are some people that do. Again, don't have a problem with it. Or there's somebody that also is a bagger at Walmart. They want more for themselves. So,
well, everybody has a dream, right? So when
I know.
Like, if you could have anything in the
world. What
if
somebody's dream is to be a bagger at Walmart?
It's not though, because you ask the people, and the reason that I say that is because you ask people, if you had a perfect world, what would you want? And it's always, it's more than just that. It's like I can be content with where I am, but it's not what I want.
Well, that's what I mean. I think that people have consistency with being inconsistent, but when you go to the other side of that, when you have discipline and consistency and being consistent towards those things that you want to do or the goals that you want to accomplish, that's when you actually start doing the things that I think matter to people, and that's subjective.
Well, for me, the things that make you get up out of bed in the morning. So when I see pictures of like people scubaing in the Great Barrier Reefs, or going through the Amazon jungle, or going up the hills of or up the
hills,
steps
just going
of
up
Machu
the hills.
Picchu.
Yeah,
and
those are some big steps, by the way.
I know,
real big steps.
Well, the other thing is or just going around and actually seeing what
life has to offer.
Beautiful things in life have to offer.
And I'm going to mention them again. One of my favorite channels that freaking sail on a really cool trimaran, Sailing with Vagabond. They do exactly what you're talking about. And
that's what I'm talking about.
That's what me and you, I think, want to get. So,
well, yeah, but
where we want to go.
My question is that how can you just be content, or not just it's not even about being content. That's fine if you're content, if you feel like you can't move anywhere. But I don't understand why people don't strive for more. Why they just sit there. And
is that a question that you want to, like, is that
rhetorical?
Yeah, I know, but is that an answer that you want to get from those people, or is that a rhetorical question you're asking yourself?
I think it's just it's food for thought. Food for thought. Because, and that's fine if you can squeeze meaning out of those places, but for me, I know that because we talked to a friend of ours, Joy, and the sentiment that he had put forward when he did the one day working at Amazon, he hated his life.
Yeah, like reminded him of why he hated it so
why
much.
he left. And for me, I resonated with that because I know that feeling of like none of this is great. Even if you're getting paid well, the money's not worth it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel worth it because your time is ultimately worth more than money because you can always make more money. You can never make more time. You don't get it back.
Mm-hmm.
So the time that you spend doing something that you actually don't love doing, I think you're wasting it, honestly, because you can't get your time back.
Yeah.
It's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I would rather strive with blood, sweat, and tears towards something that I love
Mm-hmm.
versus settling on something that I absolutely didn't and wasting my life settling out of safety or out of just mediocrity.
Yeah.
Out of just like, no risk, play it safe, whatever. And some people have families they have to support, and so there is an obligation there of I got to take care of my family, and I have to do that in a safe way. Therefore, I sacrifice my happiness for them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But for those that don't have those responsibilities and those tie downs, why wouldn't you go and search the world over to find out where you fit in,
Mm-hmm.
where you belong, what makes your heart sing? Like if you went to like the Shaolin monks and stayed there for a little bit and like actually learned from them, or went to to Japan and learned how to do sushi
Mm-hmm.
from great sushi masters, or go to you can go anywhere and learn from like all the people that have done amazing, interesting things and learn from them and see, okay, where do I feel like I don't like this, I do like this, I don't like this, and then after that, figure out like what actually makes life worth living for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot of people that ask me like, okay, well, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? Why don't you just do this? And it's like, yeah, you can, and you can make money at it, but is money the point of your life?
Mm-hmm.
You just want to make money so that you can live comfortably, so that you can buy the things the TV tells you that you want?
Yeah.
And then make more money?
Well, I think you explained it perfectly. I think that is what people want because they've lost what actually has meaning. And also, I think the thing that you said that you may have skipped over was the fact that people don't want to put in the blood, sweat, and tears. Most people are not willing to go that far
because there's a risk with that.
What
The
I'm
risk
saying.
is
So
loss.
That's what I was saying earlier. So they're not willing to again be uncomfortable for the stint that it takes and the blood, sweat, and tears that it requires to get to the other side of what things you want to have.
And I understand that, right?
I do too. There are certain things that I've wanted to do, I just haven't because I didn't want to put in the time.
Well, when I say understand it, I say mentally understand it. But for me, I don't understand how you can live with yourself
I say
like
that about like, oh, I wanted to play football, and I was like, eh.
Yeah.
Very, very minimal things in my
Yeah.
life. Not like something that's actually affected me and will affect me for the rest of my life.
Right. Well, so
mentally, I agree with you. I know. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just a poopy feeling.
Well, there's nothing as soul-sucking as being somewhere that you don't want to be,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that you are bound to it for some monetary purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling of being stuck and helpless and hopeless is horrible.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pay me enough to do something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you have done things like that before.
Well, I have, which told me and confirmed for me that, well, actually, no, I only worked one job where I absolutely, I could not stand it. I couldn't stand it, and I only stayed for a month because mentally,
That's true.
I was like, I will not be okay if I stay doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So the jobs that I have done, one, I did them because they were all different, and I was meeting different people, and I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
I enjoy making connections. I enjoy networking.
Mm-hmm.
Two, when the time to go was ripe, when it was there,
Mm-hmm.
I went. I don't believe that most jobs that you get are worth staying at.
Yeah.
When things are not great. I don't think you get compensated correctly for your time. I don't think you get compensated for the work that's being done. And I think there are a lot of reasons for that. And so I'm like, I would rather take the leap in the deep end and take chances and risks and be like, you know what?
I'm
not
saying
gonna...
that. Leap in the deep.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's
leap
good.
in the deep.
Leap in the deep.
Leap in the deep.
Leap in the deep. I know
no.
you want to take a leap in the deep.
So, yeah,
Sorry,
because I've talked to people who have lived their entire lives and now they're at the end of their life, and they're like, yeah, I wish I traveled more. Yeah, I wish I laughed more and I loved more. I wish that I I did more with my life.
So the moral of what we're trying to say is have no regrets, and if you do, you're a loser. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
If
not only
you-
that, but it's like people who
try to make your regrets as minimal as possible.
But these, like the people that I talked to, they were people at the end of their life. They weren't people just in midlife.
No, I know.
At the
I
end of their
know.
life.
That's what I'm saying. So that's when you realize, like, oh, I can't do those things anymore, and I wish I would have taken the time to do those things because life is extremely short. But
Well,
you only realize that when you're on your deathbed.
Well, exactly. Or when you're at the end of it and you're looking at the back nine and you're like, what did I really do? Like, what did
Yeah.
my life actually mean? And did I actually accomplish anything as far as legacy goes? Like, what do I have
Mhm.
to show for my name? Not much.
Yeah.
Who did I actually affect in my life that is changed because of the way I live my life or because of any inspiration I was able to give?
Mm-hmm.
Who did I help? Like, who did I actually, get down in the dirt with and actually, like, try and make a difference with?
Mhm. Well, yeah, I think if you were gonna boil it down to any specific thing, I think it would be living life with no regrets, or as minimal, or as the least amount of regrets you can possibly
well, I would say
have.
live it with reckless abandon. And
Tell me what that means.
reckless abandon,
No,
Yeah.
not me. Just the people watching.
the people.
Yeah,
Reckless abandon means
little niños.
Little niños. Okay, little niños,
Mm.
listen up. School's in session.
That's right.
It means, and people will tell you it's dumb, and that's fine. They can think what they want. But
Yeah.
reckless abandon means that you don't really think about the consequences
So it's kind of like
within reason.
It's kind of like going for broke,
Yeah, you can call it like a Hail Mary sort
putting
of.
all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. It's more like I'm going to live my life in the way, in a way in which I feel fulfilled.
I feel fulfilled.
I feel like I've got purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my life has meaning, and I'm excited to wake up every day and live this thing called life.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get into that rigmarole, where everything is the same, and every day is like yesterday, and you're doing the same things,
Well,
and you're talking to the same
I'll
people.
ask you this: for most people, I feel like this will resonate with them. What if what they're doing now leads to something that they know they will wake up every single day and be passionate about, but like the road that leads them there just isn't as exciting as it should be when you get to that destination
I think
right
there's
now?
always a way. I believe that. I believe
No,
there
I
is
know,
always
but what
a way.
I'm saying is, like, what if you're doing something? So again, for example, people that go to school. What
Mhm.
if they're Let's make up this random scenario. There's this girl named Megan, okay?
Mhm.
Her dream is to be a neurosurgeon. Okay?
Well, you have to go to school.
Exactly. You've got to go to school for
Uh-huh.
about a decade.
Uh-huh.
What if that decade isn't as enjoyable as she thought it was? And moreover, what if it actually just sucks? Like, it just sucks, but she knows that it's going to get to what she's always wanted to do and something that will be fulfilling and that she will be excited to wake up every single day for.
I think that you have to find a way to make life worth living, because 10 years
Mhm.
is a long time.
It is.
That is a long time.
But again, if that's a sacrifice you're willing to take for something you've always wanted to do, and you know there's something, or
again,
you know that
have
there's
to-
nothing else you would
you
rather
have to
do.
weigh the options. Is that worth it to you?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to choose that for somebody.
Yeah.
If that's worth it to you, if you're going to give up 10 years of your life for that,
Mhm.
then that's your choice.
No. But I'm asking that. I agree with what you're saying, but I'm asking that I'm kind of playing devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said that you want people to wake up every single day and be like have a fire inside of them and be like, I'm
Well,
so
people
happy to wake
deserve
up and
that.
I
Don't
want.
they deserve to
No,
have
that's what I'm
meaning?
saying. But what if it's not like that? But in order to get to that, you have to suffer.
Well, suffering is a part of life.
Yeah.
But here's the deal.
Yeah, but
When
you get what I'm saying?
I understand
Like,
what
what
you're
if
saying.
it takes for you to be in a sucky position that you're not I'm super excited to wake up and do this maybe
Well,
subconsciously.
because that's the question you have to answer. Is that worth
Yeah.
it to you? Is it worth it
Well,
to wake
that's
up
what I'm
for-
asking you. Shouldn't that be the question instead of I should be able to wake up every single day and be passionate instead of, well, some days I'm not going to be, but I'm still going to do it.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's normal. I think that's right. But here's
Yeah.
the deal: is that
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's as black and white as I'm going to wake up every single day and I'm going to be like I am, because I think I've conditioned myself to be appreciative and thankful for every single day that you do wake up, because tomorrow's not promised.
well, the other
And
thing
I
is
think
that
a lot of people
do people
a
really
lot of people overlook that.
well do people actually know what they want, or what actually does make them happy or
Mhm.
excited to wake up? Because it's like, okay,
Well,
let's take a normal person, right?
Mhm.
Never really traveled outside the country, never really done much. They kind of stayed in the area, whatever. Do you think they would know truly, like, what makes them truly happy? What would actually give them that thing to, like, I am so excited